Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas in 3D, a 1993 release, a 1 hour and 16-minute film, 1.66 and 1.78 to 1 aspect ratio, English Dolby True HD 7.1. This is the 20th anniversary edition. This is the 30th year. This is the 30th anniversary of this movie. And I don't know if they're going to put out a 30th anniversary edition or not, but this is the 20th anniversary edition. Beautiful 3D rendition. We're going to talk about that in a minute. This is 7.9 on Internet Movie Database. This is 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. Directed by Henry Selick, and this is produced and conceived by Tim Burton. You got Danny Elfman, who wrote and sang the songs in here as Jack. You got Catherine O'Hara, who sings and voices over for Sally. And you got Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman, who does the voiceover for Locke. And many other great actors doing voiceovers in here. What do you got here? You got Tim Burton's adaptation of this Nightmare Before Christmas. Adaptation of his poem, actually. See, Tim Burton, he was an illustrator for Walt Disney World. And he had this vision about this movie that he had in his head. He worked out in Burbank. There wasn't very many seasons, and you know, they would put up all the Halloween decorations, and Tim Burton noticed the minute the Halloween decorations went down, Christmas decorations went up. And he thought it would be a strange mix to mix the two. And some of his favorite movies was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and The Grinch That Stole Christmas. And he came up with this idea for this film. He made a wonderful poem. Absolutely wonderful poem that he wrote. In fact, it's narrated in here, I think it's Christopher Lee, but I'm not sure. And he worked at this movie. Now listen, this is claymation. This is not animation. There are some animated parts here, but this is claymation. These characters are clay. These characters are figurines, they're figures. The sets are real sets. The lighting is real lighting. They did this on 20 sound stages. 100 people worked on this for over 3 years. 24 motions of the clay had to be moved for 1 frame. So after 1 week of 20 studios, 100 people working, they would get 70 seconds of usable film. Amazing, absolutely. Claymation's always amazing. I like claymation in the 60s. Claymation's amazing. And it turned out to be an absolute classic. This is right up to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and right up there with The Grinch Stole Christmas. This is a classic. My son Joey picked this up. He said, "Dad, I've never seen this. It's Halloween. We got to do something for Halloween." And he'd never seen it. I'd never seen it. And it just absolutely blew us away. Incredible. So what do you got here for the story? You've got Halloween Land. You've got Jack's skeleton. Oh, you know I'm going to mispronounce this. Jack Skellington. He's the Pumpkin King. He's the king of Halloween Land, and they're celebrating Halloween, and they're doing what they do every year. And he gets bored. The night's over, the next day he's like, something's missing. I'm tired of doing this every year. He's walking through the woods. He sees these trees, 4 or 5 trees with doors on them, and they're all the holidays. You know, you got Easter, and he sees Christmas, and he's Halloween, but he sees Christmas. He opens the door, and he falls in, and it's like, and he's into this scene. It's like The Grinch That Stole Christmas. He's looking at all these snowy mountains, these beautiful houses down below, and kids wrapping packages, and people singing and have a good time. He says, "What is this? What is this?" He says, I want this. I want to be king of this. He goes back to Halloween Land, and he tells everybody, he says, "Well, look, I'm going to be king of Christmas Land. I'm going to take over. You know, there's a Sandy Claus over there that I'm going to take his place." And so they go to making presents. They build a sleigh. They make a skeleton reindeer. They got a ghost dog that's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And he takes off, and they got to kidnap Sandy Claus first to get him out of Christmas Land. And you've got this mad scientist in here who created this doll by the name of Sally, who's voiced over by Catherine O'Hara. And she actually does some good singing in there too. And this doll's in love with Jack. The mad scientist is jealous, so he's creating something else. So you got that little side plot going on. Well, Jack takes off, and he's going to be the king of Christmas, and he's bringing all these presents in there. It don't go so good. It really does. It doesn't go so good. And you've got other characters in here too. You've got the mayor, who's portrayed as a two-faced politician. He's got one face on one side, and then he flips his head around. He's got a face on the other side. So, he's like a two-faced politician. He goes up, he knocks on the door. He goes, "Hey, somebody come out and talk to me. I can't make a decision by myself." So, he's ragging on the politicians there. Good animation there. A lot of creatures in here. It's just an amazing. It'll suck you in. It is an opera. It is a musical. It's a classic narrated movie. It's everything you'd want it to be. If you haven't seen this in 30 years, you need to get out there and see it. It's absolutely fantastic. We both enjoyed it very much. Let's talk about the 3D now. The 3D is very good. Now the 3D is into the window a lot. It's into the window, and it's actually kind of shallow at times. But then there's some scenes where they're walking through some gates and stuff, and it really stretches out, and the depths get real good. And I'm sitting there, and like 90% of the movie, I'm like, okay, this is all into the window. There was a couple of stick outs, a couple of things came out, negative parallax, and there was actually one fly out. And this hasn't happened to me in a long time. In a lot of the 3D movies I've watched, this hasn't happened to me in a while. Fly out, come out, smacked me right in the glasses. And I went, whoa. And my son says, "Oh, God, you did." And I said, "Yeah, I mean, that hasn't happened in a while." So that's cool. Now, that was one thing, and it happened real fast. And the rest was some good depths. Now, you don't have to see this in 3D, but I tell you, I wouldn't want to watch it any other way. It did add to it. It really did. So, what am I going to do with this? What I'm going to do with The Nightmare Before Christmas? I'm going to give the movie itself 5 stars. It's a fantastic, and all the effort they put in it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. 5 out of 5 stars for the movie. For the 3D, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. They did a great job on the depth. That one fly out actually pushed it over. I was going to give it like a 3.75. But that one fly out and that couple stick outs actually pushed it over a little bit for me. So, did you see it? What did you think? Did you see it in 3D? Did you see it 2D? Maybe you saw it at the theaters in 1993. I don't know. Let me know. Man, I'm way behind on my Tim Burton movies. Now, Tim Burton seems to have something with Disney World. I believe he did Dumbo. I believe Tim Burton did Dumbo, and I really enjoyed Dumbo, but that's a whole other movie. All right, leave some comments below and let me know. Hit that like and subscribe button. I want you to have a lot more reviews coming. I want you to have a good night. I want you to stay safe. As always, God bless.